Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Guns of Icarus competitive event. This weekend, we are casting the Sunday Community Skirmish number 9. I am Imagine, and with me today once more is Sir Morty. Morty, how's it going?
Hello, everybody. I'm well, thank you very much.
So,
How are you?
no flying with cake for you today?
I'm taking a little break from keg, to be honest, at the moment, just because I simply don't have a lot of time to play in the next few weeks. So, taking a step back and letting better people have a good go.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, so of course we have a full set of matches for you today. You got the bracket on the screen if you're watching. You got let's see, Grim Reapers. Wow, I can talk. Grim Reapers versus Glowwater Thralls to start off our day with. And you'll also have 404 Sky Bible Adventure Club Cake and Riders going against each other, and Sacrilege is waiting for whoever wins the match that we're going to be casting in the first round, which will be Grim Reapers versus Glowwater Thralls, who are already getting some themselves set up in this lobby. Now, do you know who Grim is? Because I haven't seen them at all before.
Um, Grim are relatively new. I think it might be the word is around that they're an offshoot of somebody, but we can't quite get to the bottom of it. I haven't seen very many of them, so they seem very new
Yeah,
to
I
it.
mean, it looks
They
like
were
it's gonna be Grimmick, who's probably the head honcho in that.
Yeah. They've been playing a few games recently. They've been getting okay and be doing surprisingly well for new players. Um, but I think this probably is one of their first or close to one of their first competitive events.
And they get the auspicious start of placing against the Glowwater Thralls to begin a competitive event with something that you don't quite want to have happen because as we well know, Glowwater Thralls are quite a strong team.
Mm.
And if you're new to competitive events and you're running up against Glowwater Thralls, that can go a little rough for you.
Yeah, it can be a little off-putting, but they've been doing fairly well in pub matches. They've been doing fairly well in public games, so they got a good. How can I put this simply? I'm a little slow today. Um, they've got a good grasp on the game. They know what they're doing. They know how to do it. It's just whether or not they can keep up, and it is going to be a tough team for them to keep up with, though.
Yeah, and you always have a little bit of nerves going into a competitive match. You've got the, little bit of that adrenaline flowing to you. You
Hmm.
could make some mistakes, but who knows? We will see in just a little while. Of course, these are all best of 3 matches, so you don't need to worry about losing one and you're done for the day. So you do have a chance to catch up even if you lose the first match. And our first match here will be on Battle on the Dunes. And I think that can be a very kind of helpful style because it's not like Parrotin when you're all freaked out about where the other team's gonna go. You already got the okay. This is our first really really competitive match that we're doing in like an official tournament, and it's like kind of you're all tense. Battle of the Dunes, you're just kind of like, well, everything's open. I don't. All I really need to worry about is how well I can shoot. Really.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple map to play. It's a lot of fun if you want to do a lot of racing around, and it's good for whichever method you really fancy playing at. You can get up close and you can brawl around without having to worry about terrain danger. You can also have a good sniping match if you want to, and there's enough terrain spaced around the map to make sure that you're not going to be dominated by long range ships. It means you can have some close range engagements, but they're equally as viable as each other. It just depends on the skill of the team, depending on who. If you're better at sniping, you're going to do better at it than you are if you're going to try and brawl.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the other thing you have to be cognizant of during these Sunday community skirmish matches is there is a 15-minute time limit that gets extended by 3 minutes every time there's a kill. So if you have a long drawn-out sniping match and nobody's getting a kill, the match could be done with very quickly.
Yeah, it could be very much so.
All right, so we are getting the Glowwater Thrall our team here, ready on up. And that is a lumberfish, and that's kind of what I expected to be on that goldfish.
Yeah.
especially when you're going, oh, I actually switched to a Junker, which is still not the greatest versus Lumberjack. So a lot of this match, once more, is going to be dictated at how well that Lumberjack does on that Goldfish.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen plenty of instances, the pair of us, that Lumberjack Goldfish goes very, very badly. We've also seen some where it goes very, very well, and it's just down to the skill of the pilot and the skill of the gunner by the end of the day, especially on dunes. There's nothing else for you to worry about on dunes apart from maybe sitting in a dust cloud, but that's not a problem really.
Yeah, it's something that you have to put up with every now and then,
Yeah.
and Mobulas they get a little wonky in those dust clouds. I don't know if you ever flown one or been on a Mobula in a dust cloud, but the dust cloud actually like pushes you down a lot, I think.
The dust cloud can do that. It's more deadly just to sit there and get caught in it and get your engines and guns disabled because you can only repair so many items at once. You're either going to come out of that with nothing disabled but everything very damaged, or with a lot of quite necessary items, especially the engines, are just going to be battered, especially if you're firing away with your lumberjack and not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you're in a dust cloud, especially if you're in there for an extended amount of time, I think, like, if you have any light guns, those are usually last to really get repairs on them. You want to make sure you keep your engines up. A heavy gun is pretty important too. So on a Goldfish, I would expect the two engineers to be smacking them engines, and the gunner to be smacking the front gun. The side two guns. I think you're okay sacrificing to Dust Cloud if you have to be in it for any extended amount of time.
Yeah, let the guns die that you're not going to use in the immediate future. That saves you a lot of hassle, and it also saves you a lot of hassle to maybe leave a balloon alone, because that's the one thing that the dust cloud doesn't damage. It doesn't damage balloons or hulls, so just leave those alone. Don't worry about running back and forth and checking those, especially if you're unengaged.
I thought it did like minor damage to hull, not very much, but I thought it buffed its hull a little bit.
Well, it's practically negligible.
Yeah,
It does about
practically nothing.
It does about one wrench worth of damage. So you can just wander past that and go bink, and you're off. You don't have to worry.
Absolutely.
Don't have to keep running back to it and hitting it. You will do if you repair it halfway. Anyway, sorry.
All right, so we are going to get into our first match here. On the red team, the Grim Reaper team, we've got Hunter captaining the little round table. It's got a Gatling mortar up front with a carronade and flare gun on the side, and on the Siren, that is Grimmick's ship. He's got a Junker. We've got, let's see, Artemis Hades one side with an Artemis up front and a Gap mortar on the other. So pretty close range ship. Pretty standard for both of the both Junker and Pyramidon.
Yeah, we've got, with the Glowwater Thralls, we've got the Crown Tyrant flown by Scrimscraw. It's another tried and true Metamidian. The Scrimscraw flies a Metamidian very well, so you've got Gatling gun mortar front with flare gun and Banshee Carousel side. So the Banshee Carousel is a slight change, but we can see probably if it'll get any hits. We've also got the Glowfish flown by Craftwork Circuit. Craft Sturdy, thank you. Which is the lumberfish we mentioned earlier, with side-mounted carronade for getting rid of close-range ships, and flare guns so they can keep spots and keep view through these moving clouds.
Yeah, they have caught the little round table here with a few lumberjack shots, but the Siren's actually now turned around and is starting to whack at the Glowfish here with those Artemis. A goldfish with no front gun is usually a dead fish, so we'll see if they manage to pick that up. Now, Crown Tyrant has actually made his way around the side and is not spotted yet. I think Siren is now finally turning Little Round Table, losing his balloon to those lumberjack shots, most of which are hitting here. Crown Tyrant coming down. I think Crown Tyrant's going to go after Little Round Table.
That's a slight bump there by the Glowfish, losing their arcs on Little Round Table that's trying to charge forward to them. I think they're going to have to concentrate a little further on where they're going, otherwise this Pyramidian will catch up with them.
They are getting their balloon knocked out still, though.
Yes.
And they actually lost all momentum as they crashed into the side, and with the Crown Tyrant coming up behind them right at the same time, that ship is going to go down.
That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. You couldn't have got a worse crash at a worse time. They had no idea that the Crown Tyrant was coming up behind them. And it was just very good timing. Very good maneuvering by the Glowfish, even though it was a little bit of a scrape. It wasn't a serious one.
Yeah, and it is a best of three,
Mm-hmm.
as somebody is asking in chat. So yes, it is a best of three. So it's not quite over here yet. Now Siren is slamming away at Crown Tyrant, while Glowfish tries to take his balloon out and doing a decent job of it. Little Round Tables actually come up right inside. Siren loses both his balloon and armor at the same time, and Crown Tyrant following up with those mortars, but a lot of those miss, and they barely manage to get their armor back up. But Glowfish in the meantime is getting hunted by Little Round Table.
Yeah, it's going very well indeed. It's very good positioning.
Siren's still somehow managing to stay alive here. Crown Tyrant following behind and do take him out finally, but Little Round Table, as we mentioned, has a beat on the Glowfish.
Yeah,
get the first kill here.
Well, there's quite a few lumberjack shots missing there. In all rights, they should have disabled the Little Round Table. I know they're having trouble with their balloon, but with these inconsistent hits, they're getting a little bit more leeway than it should have.
Yeah, I think they're within arming range now as well. You saw those last lumberjack shots basically do nothing there. And hold up, Little Round Table, hold up. You gotta put the brakes on a little bit earlier than that. It's a mistake that I see Pyramidion captains do a little bit too often, where they just get a little over anxious and charge forth too much.
Yeah, charge forth a bit too much, and we keep forgetting that the 2BO ramming ship, the Pyramidion, is heavy. It's just gonna hold its momentum unless you crash into something. If you're just drifting, you're gonna keep going.
Loses balloon, but then takes a little ramping off of the Crown Tyrant.
Yeah.
So it's gonna give him that altitude that he lost from getting hit by lumbers. But those lumbers gonna keep on going in there, and now with that armor down and the mortars coming on in, hitting true.
Oh.
Down goes little Round Table once more for a 3-0 lead for the Glowwater Thralls here, and the Glowwater Thralls have just executed this almost perfectly. Grim has had their chances, but
Yes.
Thralls have just done exactly what they need to do to avoid from dying.
Yeah, Thralls have managed to stick together. They're talking, they're communicating with each other. When the Lumberfish starts getting chased by the Pyramidion, the Crown Tyrant always breaks off its engagement or finishes engagement as quickly as possible to get in and get some support in. Meanwhile, the Siren and the other Grim ship just seem to be a bit too far dispersed. They're flying together, they're working well enough together, but they seem to be trying to focus on 1v1s, which isn't going to work here, especially with a disabling lumberjack.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a hard sell now. It looks like Glowfish is actually going to go behind the little debris. Well, not little. It's the biggest debris on this map. Leviathan, Juggernaut, whatever you want to call it. They're gonna try to go up behind and do a little bit of lumberjacking from behind. We'll see how well that works out, because the Crown Tyrant in the meantime has been spotted here by the two red ships, and he is a little bit down. But if the Grim team actually charges this, they can take the Crown Tyrant out without the Glowfish coming in to support.
Yeah, they could be a very easy kill for them, but it seems that Little Round Table is moving up and the Siren isn't. They're trying to get long-range shots off, but just hitting nothing but balloons at the moment. With Hades' shots falling a little short, but they're starting to get their eye in now.
Yep, Little Round Table finally managed to come up, join this fight over here. Let's see, so far Crown Tyrant is managing to stave off most of these shots. Glowfish has come around and is shooting the lumberjack off, but they're at extreme ranges now, and it's going to get quite hard to hit around when you get this far out. Now, a lot of Hades they're missing from the Siren.
Yeah, it looks like the Crown Tyrant is trying to outmaneuver the Little Round Table just to keep away, keep out of those arcs. They're trying to go, they'll probably go backwards now to keep behind them. Yeah, just trying to hold them off as best they can until the Lumberfish can get into a better position.
Yeah, Crown Tyrant now turning Gatling onto Little Round Table, stripping that hull. Are they going to be able to get a kill out of this?
I think they will.
Holy crap!
Bloody hell, that's some...
And the Glowfish in the meantime has come all the way forward, and now has its lumberjack train on the Siren.
Yeah, well, that's some very good flying on Scrim Scroll. You outmaneuvered the Little Round Table pretty much perfectly. Now they just need to push their advantage on the Siren before that Pyramidion spawns and puts a spanner in the works.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a little bit hard to now. Of course, the little round table is gonna respawn quite close, so if they can charge in here, they'll be fine. But Siren already, dealing with a lot of balloon loss. They do have drogue shoots. They have a long way to fall.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that's something that they did manage to bring. Now, Crown Tyrant's gonna come here and in here for Ram. Are they gonna be able to get the ship? Yes, they
And
do.
splat!
They get the armor down just in time before the ram happens, and that will take out the Siren. And goes to Glowwater Thralls, the first map here, and they are up 1-0.
Well, very well done with Glowwater. I was simply outplayed Grim at this point in time. Um, Grim are focusing very much on the one-on-ones, trying to brawl down their supposed equal opponents. Like the Junker trying to disable the oh, come on, my brain won't work today. Lumberfish, I can't remember any names. And then the Paramedians trying to duke each other out, but simply just being outclassed, unfortunately.